Hey y'all, Jordan here from Carolina Sewing Vac, and today we're doing the first episode of a new series, What's Wrong with My Machine. I'm going to take different little problems you can have with your machine, go through the symptoms, some things that you can do at home to kind of baby it through so you can still use it, and then things you can do to prevent them. So today we'll be talking about broken bobbin cases. So some of the things that you'll experience if you have a damaged or broken bobbin case is not limited to these, but the main ones are going to be like bunching underneath, whether you're sewing or embroidering. Thread can catch audibly, so you'll actually hear it every time you maybe make a stitch. As it slows down, you can hear it like ticking, picking something. You might even be breaking thread. You could have shredding is a really common one, where you've been sewing or embroidering and you see that little shredding coming up right above the needle. And it can even be as light as like an inconsistent tension. So like if you were sewing a zigzag and every few stitches it looks like it almost skips or something like that, or if you're embroidering you'll have your satin stitch and it's just not perfect where it should be. I got a few bobbin cases here that I've been collecting just with different problems to look for to kind of help you out. I'm gonna try and take a second to focus on all of them here. This one is brand new, so this has no issues. Put this in your machine, everything looks good. Some of the places I look is on this hook. I got some examples of ones that have nicked hooks, missing hooks, but this is a common issue that gets broken off if your needle hits it. Also right here, you might have some holes where the needle actually struck the bobbin case. That doesn't always damage it, but if you're having a problem and you see that, it could be a corresponding thing. So first one up is this one here. It has a couple of those problems I mentioned. That hook is missing. So if I compare these, you can see it's missing that little tip of it. You can also see some light coming through that hole there. And yeah, so that can be a problem. If you think your bobbin case is broken and it looks like this, you really just have to get a new one. This is a big issue because your thread's going to rub right across there and it's going to be catching. There's really nothing you can do to doctor that, unfortunately. This one is another one that is broken beyond any kind of home remedy. It has a nick that you can see right there, right here, and then it's also missing about a half-inch chunk of it. So that would be the main issue, but even if this wasn't here, that little nick would cause a lot of problems. Now, what you can do in some cases like this, and it's worth a shot, you can take some sandpaper, something that's kind of fine, nothing too heavy, and just file that off a little bit. Just rub it down until you can get it a little bit smoother, and try that. That's one thing that you can do at home before you have to get a new bobbin case if you're trying to, you know, just bandage it through and get through a project before you can come in and get a bobbin case. Like I said, nothing to do there. Number 3, this one's got a lot of the similar problems. It's missing the tip, that little hook there, and then these right here. Again, these a lot of times aren't that bad, but since these are close to the top, there's more of a chance that your thread is going to be dragging them. And if you have this problem, you can actually feel the top and bottom, and it does have some spots where your thread can catch it. This one also has some damage right here. Might be kind of hard to see on camera. It's not supposed to be flush there, but you can see it's got like some nicks. Alright, here's another one that just has a little nick right there. This can cause so many problems, but this is one of those that I would definitely get like some 150 grit and try and file that down just to get smooth, and then see if that didn't fix your issue. Ultimately, you're still going to want to replace this bobbin case, but you know, if you're in the middle of a project, in the middle of an order, that'll get you through a little bit. Last one got here is missing a very large chunk of it. You can kind of see in comparison to this broken one, it needs about another 1/4 inch of plastic there That's another one. If yours looks like this, you're just gonna have to get a new one. Alright, so in this one's case, this is some sandpaper that I like to use. And all I want to do is just take it and gently, however it needs to be to get some friction. You can see this getting better. Alright, so now, hope you can see it in camera. I've all but pretty much gotten rid of the nick. It's reformed the actual hook a little bit. This might get you by. Ultimately, like I said, you're gonna have to replace this bobbin case or it's just gonna fail you, shortly down the road. This is just a band-aid. If you're having any of those problems and you look here, your bobbin case looks, perfect. What it could be is out of tension. So this is the way most bobbin cases work, not all of them, but generally. Generally you can flip them over here and they're gonna have a couple screws. You wanna find the one that is going to control this tension right here. Little tiny flathead. And what you want to do is, if it has like paint on it like this one does, you're going to want to try and like dig that paint out a little bit so you can get this stuck in there. And the way your tension works on your bobbin is, if you were embroidering, for instance, and you have a satin stitch, you generally want to have, let's say you're using a white bobbin and red top thread. You want to see about 1/3 of red on your edges, maybe a little bit more, but a little less white right here in the middle. That's how I would want it. But what you could be seeing is something that's very inconsistent, or you could be seeing way too much white. Your white might even be coming up on the top. In that case, you're going to take this and you're going to tighten that screw about 1/4 inch. You're going to put it back in and you're going to run it. And then continue to make small adjustments till it looks right. If you continue to make adjustments and it's not fixing anything, your bobbin case might appear fine, but it is broken and you have to get a new one for that. Sometimes, I thought I had a bobbin case over here that had this issue. I really don't, but you can kind of see the way your tension works is it kind of just is going to sandwich your thread in there. Sometimes you will wind up with some lint in between in here, and that's worth a look too, because you can take some tweezers or something small to dig out that lint, blow it out, and that can fix a lot of problems too. Unfortunately, the bobbin case holds a lot of potential problems, so it's always important to clean your machine, get it serviced regularly, to keep an eye on these things. All right, I hope that helped you out a little bit. Might answer some questions. Biggest thing you can do to preserve your bobbin case is just make sure you're keeping your bobbin area clean at home. Make sure you're not getting too compacted with lint and stuff like that. If you're not able to do that, just make sure you're getting your machine serviced like yearly, and we'll make sure that it's running top and keeping an eye on that bobbin case for you. If you like this series, if you have any questions, drop them below. If you have a specific problem that you want me to talk about, go ahead. I already got episode 2 working. It's gonna be about needle threaders, which I know is gonna be helpful for some of y'all that are going through them like crazy. So thank y'all, and we'll see you next time.